What's up, everybody? This is episode 11 of our Money Body Goals podcast. My name is Dalton DeCastro.
And I'm Ryan DeCastro.
And I am a personal trainer and online coach.
And I'm a financial planner and a wealth coach.
So, how do you guys like my new hat? I get really excited when I get new things because I don't really buy that many things for myself. And when I get things like hats, I feel good. So today we're going to talk about how to incorporate some cheat meals into your diet because, as I've said before in multiple episodes, I like to live with a 80-20 rule. So, you're not 100% on point with your diet all the time, especially if you are seeing good results. It's important to still treat yourself once in a while. Go on that date night with your partner.
Still enjoy life.
Have that slice of pizza that you've been craving forever. Like, it's okay to be human. Honestly, like you don't have to punish yourself and go so hardcore on your diet all the time. But like I said, the important part is that you are seeing results, right? So if you aren't someone who is seeing results and you are pretty much shitting the bed on the diet all the time, don't have more cheat meals, right? But this is talking about the people who are working very hard.
Already restricting themselves.
Already putting in the work.
Yeah.
And then trying to figure out, okay, at what point do I allow myself to have that cheat meal?
Some more balance.
I would say when you start to notice that you have really hardcore cravings and you just can't stop wanting to eat something like really, really badly, I think it's okay to give yourself a cheat meal that week. The way I would structure it is replace one of your major meals with that cheat meal. And when you do have your cheat meal, like be sensible with it, right? So let's just say you're going to have a cheat meal and you've decided to have a Five Guys burger. Get the burger and just don't go all out with all the toppings on it. Like obviously add your veggies to it, but just don't go crazy with the mayo. Don't go crazy with the ketchup. You can get some French fries. That's fine. You're going to have a surplus 100% that day. But if your week has been on point, like we said, then it's okay, right? That's just a little bit of extra, treat it as energy. It's a little bit of extra energy for your next workout. So don't stress out too much. That's a good time to incorporate it. Another good time to incorporate it is when you are seeing really good results and you want to treat yourself, right? Like every week, if your goal has been to lose 2 pounds and you've been doing that after a little bit of time, it's okay to give yourself one cheat meal. Like don't beat yourself up after having that cheat meal. You can add a little bit of extra cardio if you have to the next day and don't stress out about it too much. It's not that big of a deal, especially if you're not an actual bodybuilder who's planning to step on stage and you're in your prep. Like, you're human. It's fine to get a cheat meal here and there, right?
So would you recommend planning a certain workout for the day you want to have a cheat meal, like depending on what your goals are?
The way I like to do it is, let's just say today's Monday and tomorrow I have a really intense workout. I'm going to plan that cheat meal the night before because I want to use those extra calories and use it as fuel the next day for the workout because I know that I'm going to need more calories. Obviously, you ate it the night before, but I train in the morning. So I know that those extra calories will be beneficial for me. But if you train later at night, then I wouldn't structure it that way. That's just how I would structure it because I train in the morning. So yeah.
And then, so for myself, for example, the muscle group that I want to focus on the most would be my lower body.
Yeah.
So obviously you'd probably recommend doing a lower body workout.
Yeah, something that would be the more hardcore workout, do it then. Like if you have a very easy going workout the next day, probably don't structure it that way because you're trying to use those calories as your fuel, right? Because that's just extra energy coming in.
And then for people who are tracking their macros,
track it still.
Track it, but leading up to your cheat meal, would you try to get most of your protein in for the day?
Oh, you 100% would. So you would eat your regular day of eating. And then, like I said, you would just subtract one of your meals for that cheat meal. Don't have your entire day of eating and then add that cheat meal in because now you're going to be even bigger surplus.
But would you focus on trying to leave a lot of fats and carbs for the cheat meal? Or would you just go about your day and just worry about leaving like one extra meal regardless?
I don't think people need to worry that hard. They're not bodybuilders.
Because that's what I do.
Well, you're used to doing that. You're past what average is in terms of people who track. Most people on average don't track. So because you're someone who avidly tracks everything, the way you do it is fine. But for people who are just trying to figure out tracking and they're like just starting this journey, like they don't need to stress out about that part. Like just have the cheat meal and then move forward, right? As you start to get more advanced on it, then you can allocate how your calories are going to be for this cheat meal. A smart way to actually do it is if you know exactly what your cheat meal is going to be, go find the macros for it, go on the websites or throw it into your app and then work backwards so that you're not in such a crazy surplus. Then you can be like, okay, well, if I know that this meal is going to be 1,000 calories and my calories for the day is 2,000 calories, I can eat around 1,000 prior to having this meal, right? So that I'm not throwing myself into this crazy surplus. That's how I would strategize it if you're someone who's like already really used to tracking.
Okay.
But I don't think most people need to do that because they're overthinking it. They're going to get way too stressed out. And then it's just going to raise their cortisol and it's just going to be worse. Like, have your cheat meal. You're not going to die. You're going to be okay. Even if you have a cheat meal every other week, you're going to be okay. If you're really actually on point with your eating and everything else, and the training is hardcore and you're doing your cardio, you're getting your steps in, you're going to be okay.
But would you say like try to limit it to once a week?
I wouldn't do once a week. I would do every 2 weeks, if anything. That's like
the maximum.
Yeah, the maximum. Like, don't have more than that, especially if you're trying to be serious with your goal.
So I had a couple questions about like what's on our grocery list. What are the main staples that we always buy, and what are the meals that we usually prepare?
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to dieting, I think mainly we always buy the same things because we're always eating the same meals.
Yeah.
Like, we're super boring. And if you're someone who needs to have a meal that you actually enjoy eating, then you can get creative and you can mix it up and you can have meals that have a bunch of different like variation, but that just takes more time, probably more money.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's a lot more work to do it that way versus kind of eating the same things every day.
Yeah. The way I like to look at our grocery list is just like the first thing and the only thing I really care about is the protein, right? What are our sources? So for us, it's always our chicken breast, ground beef, and lately for me has been fish. So salmon.
So it's extra lean chicken.
Extra lean chicken breast, extra lean ground beef, and then some salmon.
I usually do extra lean ground turkey instead of ground beef because just it has lower fat.
Yeah. And then Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
Like those are like our staples of like must-haves in our fridge at all times.
And frozen shrimp for me. I find it so easy to like whip up a stir fry or put that into a wrap.
Yeah.
That's like one of my go-tos usually.
But that's how you want to think, is figure out what is my source of protein, buy that first, and then work backwards where, okay, I know what I want to eat as a protein, what I'm going to eat with, what am I partnering? So of course you want some veggies. So figure out what are the vegetables that I'm going to add to this. I honestly think the easiest vegetables to be purchasing are just get your frozen ones, because the problem with fresh produce is it goes bad really fast. So you got to buy a bunch of it. If you don't use it, it goes bad. So you're just wasting it. I like all those frozen like broccolis and vegetable medleys that they have. And then you can just throw that in the microwave, let it thaw, and then add it to your meals.
Yeah, right now we have a big bag of frozen stir-fry vegetables. So I'll steam that in the microwave, but then I'll actually fry it with my protein and add like a little bit of teriyaki sauce or something, or you can just do soy sauce.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's usually just asparagus that I'd say is what we buy the most of.
Yeah. During my prep, I really like broccoli. I just throw that into the air fryer, throw that in there for like 20 minutes at 400, and it's like nice and crispy. It's perfect.
Yeah. And then for our carbs, we do a lot of sweet potato.
Rice. And potatoes.
And white potatoes.
For me, I get cream of rice. That's my carb source, and bananas.
Yeah.
Fruits too. Get yourself some fruits. I personally like getting frozen fruits as well, just for the same reason as why I like the frozen vegetables, is because it doesn't go bad. You just leave it in the freezer. And if you do buy fresh fruit and you're noticing that you're not finishing it right away and it's starting to go bad, just start throwing it in the freezer after you have like your couple servings in your first like day or two, so that it doesn't go bad and don't waste it. They're so easy to have in the freezer because you can just thaw it in the microwave or just eat it as frozen fruits, right?
Yeah.
It makes it pretty easy.
And then for snack, I always have dates. So I'll usually have like 2 dates a day because they're so high in carbs. It's just like a quick carb source.
Yeah, it's a quick and easy carb source, and they taste really good. They're really sweet.
Yeah.
So it helps you quit those cravings.
Yeah.
Rice cakes are awesome to have in the house.
Yeah. Almond butter.
I have my clients, like when my clients want to have sweet treats, I give them like a rice cake with a little bit of almond butter and then like a little bit of sugar-free jam. And that's literally a dessert right there.
Or what I like is a flavored rice cake. So I'll do popcorn or cinnamon apple or something like that with almond butter and then sprinkle a little bit of sea salt on top of that.
Yeah.
So it's salty and sweet.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, like, these are the easiest ways to get these cravings out of the way without consuming a stupid amount of calories. It's like, oh, am I going to have this sea salt peanut butter or almond butter rice cake, or I'm going to have a Twinkie? Like, the Twinkie is going to be an absurd amount of calories, and then you're going to have this one where it's like so little calories. You probably eat like 5 of them and it'll equal 1 Twinkie.
And there's so much you can do with cottage cheese.
Okay, we're not going to.
It's such a good protein source. I tried it. I used to eat it all the time when I was younger. I haven't had it forever. And then got it a couple weeks ago, and even just like cutting up cucumber, putting it in there with salt and pepper, so good.
I'm happy that she's on the cottage cheese grind because I was just waiting for it to happen. I personally can't get with it. I really hate cottage cheese.
But people will even use it to blend in like fresh mangoes and make some sort of ice cream texture.
Yeah.
I need to try that.
I sent her a video where it was a guy, it's a cottage cheese, fresh mango or frozen mango, and then some honey, and he turned it into a mango sorbet, and he said that it tastes exactly like a mango sorbet, and it's just high protein, low cal. I'm
not sure how accurate that is, but
he said that it did taste like it.
It's worth a try.
Next episode, we'll let you know how it goes, because I'm sure she's gonna try it probably in the near future.
Other than that, you're really big on the zero sugar.
Oh, I love
diet drinks.
God, diet drinks, like low calorie, sugar-free drinks are my favorite. I'm obsessed. Artificial sweeteners.
Yeah.
But it's so good when you have cravings. So I've told my clients, like, look, you have a craving, go get yourself a 0-calorie soda. It's going to fill you up. It's going to avoid the whole, oh, I need to fill my stomach with something because it's fizzy.
It really takes the edge off.
And it just hits different, especially when it's cold.
You sound like an alcoholic.
Yeah. But this, oh God, I have such a pet peeve. You're going to hear so many people be like, oh, but there's artificial sweeteners in it. And oh, what about the aspartame? You know how many of these drinks you need to have on a daily basis for it to actually become deadly? Like, it's insane. They just saw a headliner saying aspartame is going to cause cancer, and then all of a sudden you drink one Diet Coke and you're going to get cancer. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it's all in moderation. I try not to drink them too much because I do get really, really bloated from them. But once in a while, if I'm just like craving something different and something carbonated, for sure.
Yeah, don't abuse them, but like use them accordingly. Like, try not to be drinking more than one a day. It's not that bad for you, honestly. If you guys have more questions about diet and everything, just like I said, just drop it in the comments or even on our Instagram, just DM us and ask some questions, because this is what we like to do. We like to take questions and turn it into topics for our episodes so that we can help spread some knowledge and hopefully not too much misinformation or zero misinformation. So lately, there has been a really viral thing going on the internet and especially in the fitness space. There's this girl named Chloe on Instagram. She made a post and she's going to be competing in a show with her father. Her goal is
bodybuilding.
A bodybuilding show. Yeah. So I believe she's going to be competing in bikini, and she just wanted to step on stage with her dad. So obviously they're not going to be together on the stage, but she wants to be doing the same show as him because he's taking it very seriously and he actually looks phenomenal. The issue is that she doesn't. So when she made the post, I think she was about 3 weeks out, and she's had a lot of body fat on her still. So she was not in the bodybuilding world. She was not show ready, and she's very much not even close to show ready for a bikini athlete looking to do well on the show. Now, a lot of people were bashing her. A lot of people were just saying the meanest comments and just like completely attacking her, which I do not support. I'm very much against that kind of stuff. Like, I don't think you should ever go on anybody's post online and start trash talking them because it's none of your business. That's what you wanted to do. Now, there's lots of perspectives on the situation. And one of my clients actually asked me this question: what was my opinion? Number one, my opinion doesn't matter, right? Because at the end of the day, she does whatever she wants to do because it's her life and her body. She can do whatever she wants. But if you're going to ask me my professional opinion as a coach for somebody who actually helps people step on stage and also lose weight and get fit, if you were to ask me and come to me as my client and say, hey, what do you think? Should I step on stage? At that point, 3 weeks out, my answer would be no, because I feel like I would be doing a disservice to you to allow you to step on that stage, not actually being the best version of yourself. But if after you hear my advice on that and you still want to do it, then we move forward, right? Because like I said, she wanted to do it for her dad. But from a perspective of how well she wants to do and how good she wants to look on stage, I would tell her that she's not ready yet to step on stage, and we would just pick another show. Personally, if I was her, I'd pick one of the shows that have like a transformation category, because then she would do a lot better. And she would probably be on a stage where she feels more comfortable around people who are in a similar journey as her.
But has she gone through a transformation?
Oh, of course. Yeah, she was going through a transformation.
Like, have you seen her,
Yeah, she
her
lost.
starting point?
Yeah, she lost weight.
Like, how much?
It doesn't matter how much. It's a transformation, right? Like the goal is like you don't have to lose 150 pounds for it to be transformation.
But they have categories for transformation.
Yeah, but that's just one show. What I'm trying to say is that there can be shows where even if you lost 20 to 30 pounds, you have now transformed. But the goal is that you're not shredded to the gills on stage. That's the point of this transformation category. Is like you don't have to be diced on stage as long as you lost an X amount of weight. Sometimes they have categories where it's like, oh, we've lost over 100 pounds, and then ones where you've lost under 100 pounds.
Right.
So that would be a category that she'd join. Is she just joined something that she lost less than 100 pounds in her show, even if she lost 20 pounds. But what the point I was trying to say was that would be a more fitting show for her, especially for the first time to step on stage, because she's never actually stepped on stage before. And I don't know how she'd feel once she gets into the position where she's backstage, she's surrounded by a lot of girls who are like really shredded, and she's not in that position, right? It's easy to say that, oh, she's going to be fine until she's in the situation and she's now like, oh my God, I'm actually doing this, right? And what if, her nerves, her fears, all these things kind of like she has an anxiety attack. Like you don't want to have this really crappy first experience. So that's why I don't think I would want her to step on stage. But like I said, that's my opinion from a coach. If there's anybody that I would be like, not attacking, but like being concerned with is like her coach. Like, what is her coach saying about this? Like, is he okay with her, being 3 weeks out and not being the best version of herself? Like, has he at least addressed all of these things to her?
Mm-hmm.
I hope he has.
Or is he just getting paid? And
Exactly. I would feel really crappy if she's paying all this money to her coach and her coach is just letting her do all of this.
Yeah.
Without giving the proper guidance.
They're preparing her for what the expectation is going to be.
Yeah. Because, like I said, this is her first show.
I think you can think of it from both angles. You can think of it from the coach's perspective, but also from her own perspective.
Yeah.
Like, I get wanting to do something, some sort of significant, like, experience like this with your dad, but there's so many other options. Like, I get that he wants to do a bodybuilding show, but why wouldn't you pick something that you could potentially both do well at?
Yeah.
Like, do a Spartan race, do a powerlifting competition, something where it's not just your body that's being judged for how it looks.
Yeah. And exactly. And that's another point that I wanted to make. We have to look at it from multiple perspectives. So we've looked at it from her perspective. We've looked at it from the perspective of myself, a coach. Now we need to look at it from the sports perspective.
Yeah.
This sport, as mentioned in the last episode, is a harsh sport. What they do is they take people and they put them on stage and they compare each other to see who looks the best.
They don't care about who you are.
Yeah, they don't care about your backstory.
They don't care that you're doing this with your dad. Like, all they're looking at is your body.
Exactly. So from the sports perspective, this girl is coming last place. If she comes anything more than last place, that is an actual disrespect to the sport and to any other competitor who spent more than 20 or even less than 20 weeks trying to step on the stage, looking their best self and work their ass off and actually did look better than her, right? From a leanness, fullness, like muscle, everything perspective. If she was not to have come last place and I was the girl who lost to her, I'd feel like shit. And I'm not saying she looks terrible. What I'm saying is that from the sports perspective, if I was one of those judges and I was looking on that stage and I saw all the girls who were really shredded and worked really hard, not saying she didn't work hard, but she didn't give herself enough time. If that girl beat any of the other girls, that's a slap in the face to any of those other girls. Realistically.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what the sport is. It's a comparison game. And there's no way that any girl who's more lean than that girl should ever lose to her.
But it's also just not a good representation of whatever show she's entered in, right? Like, if you think of it in terms of a powerlifting meet and someone shows up who clearly knows that they're not anywhere as strong as the other people competing, and they're just going up and just being like, hey, it's just something I want to do, but I haven't been dedicated to the same level as everyone else who's in this. If I was the owner of the league, I would be kind of like,
but they don't
upset
care
by that.
No, but they don't care about that. Remember, money, the biggest driver for these shows and for these leagues is money. So they don't care who enters. You can look completely terrible and go into this league. They're not going to care. They're like, you're obviously coming last, but you just gave us some money. We don't care.
I kind of see it as like, okay, this is obviously a joke to you.
No. Okay, I get that. But to her, it's not a joke. She actually is putting in the work. She is training. She is doing the diet.
But is she doing it to the same degree?
But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. They don't care. It's not a matter of.
But I think she should care.
She should care, but like if you're the person who's working hard, you're just not at the same level as everybody else. It doesn't mean you're not putting in the work. It just means that her timeline is not prepared. She needs a whole year. I think that girl should probably take a year off, really focus on putting on good muscle tissue, and then leaning out a lot earlier in the year, do the show again. That's how I would look at it from my opinion. I would not tell her, oh, let's do a show later in the year, because her body just didn't look ready to be even stepping on a stage.
Yeah.
Right? That's just my professional opinion.
And I'd be really worried about her mental health after the fact. Like, this is an experience that's supposed to be so empowering for you.
Yeah.
And obviously with her not going to be placing well in the show, like that can just have such a detrimental impact on like your outlook of everything.
Yeah. That's how she looks at it. We don't know what's going to happen. That's why I'm very interested to see how the show goes and how she feels afterwards.
She obviously doesn't care. Like, that's clear. She doesn't care what anyone else thinks. She's doing this for her. She wants to do it with her dad. But it is so hard to ignore all of the comments and ignore the fact that you're coming in last place. Yeah. Like, ignore all of those things. That's almost impossible to do.
At this point, I think after seeing so much hate and so many people telling you that you shouldn't do this and that you aren't good enough for this, I actually think that she should now do this show, because she's going to silence all the people and be like, look, I have the balls to step on stage, even if I'm not show ready. You guys don't even have the balls to even enter a competition. You don't even sign up for the competition. So from her perspective, if she wants to be this bad bitch entity, like, that's the top level, where she said, I silenced everybody because I did it. I got in a bikini and I stepped in front of people. Like, some people can't even go to the beach without their shirt on. This girl's getting in a bikini and stepping on stage, looking like that, compared to girls who are like diced.
Yeah.
So honestly, respect to you, Chloe. I think, you have heart. I think you have the balls too to be able to do this. I just would love to see you do it again in a year and see what potential you could have when you actually have the right amount of time to pursue the sport. And if you don't actually want to pursue the sport and you just wanted to do this as a one-time thing, there we go. It's over. You can finally say, oh, I stepped on stage and I did this. I did it with my dad. I'm never going to do it again. But if her goal is like, I actually want to do this again, it would be awesome to be able to see her take it a little bit more, I wouldn't say not less seriously. Like, she's not taking it not serious right now, but she just needs to put a little bit more time into it. Because if she does truly respect the sport and wants to pursue it, she would understand that she needed a lot more time in order to step on the stage and take it seriously and be competitive to some degree, right? At the end of the day, it's an amateur league. She's not a pro. There's not the pro leagues. Everybody who isn't a pro doesn't actually have a right to a proper opinion. And that's how I feel, because we're not pros. But if this was a pro league and she stepped on the stage and was trying to become a pro, I don't know how that would even work. Then it's a different story. But we're all amateurs here. Like, just mind your own business and let her do her thing, So to kind of wrap that whole piece up, number one, just be nice to people online. Mind your own damn business. It has nothing to do with you. Her stepping on stage is not going to affect how your day is tomorrow, right? For people to be going online and saying these super, super hurtful things, I don't know how that makes you feel any better, right? It has no impact. One of the perspectives that I actually didn't get a chance to mention was, as a competitor, if I'm someone who has trained for 20 weeks to step on the stage to look my best version, and I wanted to have some really nice stage shots with comparisons compared to the other girls who are also doing the same thing, and then they have that girl standing beside them, I can understand why some girls would be a little bit upset, right? And it's going to sound really mean, but that is what our sport is. It's a comparison game. If you have a picture where you look amazing and you have a picture of a girl who does not look like she's at the same level as you, maybe that girl might feel some type of way. It's like, oh my God, like, I can't post this stage shot because this is who I'm comparing myself to. It's like if I showed up to a kindergartner basketball tournament and I won, do you think I feel good about myself? Obviously not, right? So maybe that's how some of these girls feel. And I'm not saying that it's okay to feel that way, but like, at the same time, that's your opinion, right? That's how you feel. So that's probably why some people were like, I don't think they want to see that at their show, because for girls who are working their ass off for this bikini show and then their stage shots are now ruined because someone beside them clearly was not at the same level, maybe they feel some type of way. It's almost like if I enter a show and I actually don't have anybody to compare myself to, I'm going to feel like shit. That's me personally.
Well, it's almost like putting less value into the level of competition.
Yeah, like, I'm a competitive person. The whole reason why I'm stepping on the stage is because I want to be compared to these people, right? And if you're now comparing me against people who are clearly not at the same level as me, I'm going to feel some type of way.
Yeah.
especially if this moment is so important to you as well. You have one picture that's going to represent this for the rest of your life, and that picture might have gotten ruined because you're by yourself on a stage and you weren't even able to be compared to people. It might feel the same way as if you had two other people who look really, really off from you, and then you're first place, and then they're like, do you feel good about yourself? You know, but honestly, like I said, that's just how I might see other people feeling. I'm not saying that's how I feel. I just can try and look at it from every possible perspective to understand why some people feel some type of way. At the end of the day, Chloe, good luck. I hope you are confident on the stage, and I hope you learn from this experience. You know, don't worry about what other people are saying. Just be confident and be happy. Whatever makes you happy is really all that matters. It doesn't matter what these people are saying. So good luck, and subscribe, Chloe, to Mind Body Potty Goals if you do happen to see this episode. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully from the beginning of our episode, you were able to take away from some of the things we talk about in terms of our diet and cheat meals especially, and then also listening to our thoughts on this whole experience with Chloe stepping on stage. I think it's a good topic that we were able to cover. So yeah, we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.